Good afternoon po. I'm presenting to you the revised application for education. And this is on management of organization. So the new title or the revised title of my application on education is Developing a Process-Based Model for Effective Organizational Management in Gueco, Balibago Elementary School. And before I proceed, I would like to thank particularly Ma'am Ami and our members of the panel. Before, when I first presented it, I tried to incorporate all the suggestions and the feedback that I gathered during my first presentation. For the context and rationale, effective organizational management ensures an institution meets its goals by coordinating people, processes, and resources across all levels. It requires attention to human resources, strategy, implementation, operations, decision-making, and resource allocation to optimize performance and sustain quality. Although building streamlined management takes time, careful implementation yields significant benefits such as improved productivity, stronger leadership, and better risk control. This application of education proposes a process-based model for effective organizational management in GBES to align efforts and achieve the school's quality objectives. So for the description of the concepts, skills, and processes, GBES will adopt a data-driven, process-based approach to strengthen organizational management and support continuous quality improvement. The proposed model aligns with strategic planning, governance mechanisms, and monitoring processes, so decisions are evidence-based, targeted, and adaptable to changing institutional needs. The following will be incorporated in this process-based model: description of concept, skills, and processes to apply. The model draws on the data-driven framework by Hunter and core management principles to formalize SMEA, SPEAR, AIP, and ESIP processes, and develop skills in data collection, analysis, strategic planning, and program review. So this time, other than it is no longer about making an M&E tool. It's more of a complementary model or framework so that we could support the crafting of our, the collection of our data through the SMEA and SPEAR, and the crafting of our ESIP, and AIP, and WFP. It will also be used to identify gap analysis and opportunities. A gap analysis will reveal weaknesses in data reliability, role clarity, and capacity for evidence-based decision-making, creating opportunities to strengthen data systems, clarify responsibilities, and build staff skills. And of course, the implementation and expected impact of the process-based framework that we will be using. Integrating the model with existing governance tools and continuous M&E cycles will enable timely targeted interventions, improve program implementations, and sustain alignment with GBES mission and quality objectives. So for the objective of this application of education, a process-based model for organizational management in GBES aims to define institution-wide quality objectives and designing a systematic tool to monitor progress and evaluate the extent to which these objectives are achieved with specific time frames. The model will integrate data analysis into existing school governance mechanisms to strengthen evidence-based decision-making, enhance accountability, and support continuous improvement. This research is grounded in the principles and competencies acquired from the Doctorate in Educational Management program, particularly the Management of Organization course. So this is our proposed intervention strategy. The process-based model for GBES centers on a data-driven model for organizational management that uses strategic planning, data integration, and continuous evaluation to make decisions based on reliable evidence. This approach builds a culture of accountability, responsiveness, and continuous improvement aligned with the school's mission and quality objective. The final model will be a tailored practical tool composed of 5 interrelated components that collectively enhance organizational performance and promote sustainable growth. So I have included in the presentation the data-driven model for effective organizational management. This is not yet the process-based model. This is actually the model that we use so that we could come up with a more efficient and more effective process-based model. So it includes, or we have considered this model, which contains the context analysis, the input or the data collection, the process, data analysis and interpretation, and the product or the decision making. So the final output of this study is a fully operational data-driven model called process-based model designed to support ongoing evaluation and refinement within the institution. A built-in feedback mechanism ensures continuous improvement and maintains the model's relevance over time. This phase prioritizes sustainability and achievement of long-term impact. So this is our final product, the process-based model for data-driven, I will correct it, organizational management at Gueco Balibago Elementary School. So the first phase will be the strategic planning, where we establish and refine quality objectives, and the integration with governance mechanism, because we already have the existing tools such as the SMEA, the SPEAR, the AIP, and the ESIP. So we will be using the process-based model to support these mechanisms that are already in our department. And the capacity building or train staff in data-driven processes. This is a very important component of the process-based model because we would like to train our school personnel for the importance or on the importance of collecting efficient and reliable data, which will be used in decision-making. Of course, while we do the capacity building, we also gather feedbacking or for the implementation of continuous improvement, not only on the data that we have gathered, but also on the continuous improvement of our school personnel. And lastly, monitoring and evaluation, which assesses the effectiveness of programs and processes. So what are the key strengths of this model? Why would we want to use this model despite the existence of this governance mechanisms that we already have? Number one, it ensures evidence-based decision-making. The model facilitates decision-making processes grounded on reliable data that we have gathered. And of course, it ensures stakeholders' involvement. The model encourages active participation of relevant stakeholders, fostering collaboration, accountability, and shared ownership. The alignment of existing tools. We are no longer rejecting the peer or the SPEAR, the AIP. We are not coming up with another tool, but rather it is supportive of these tools that we already have. We integrate them. We ensure that whatever we encode in our SPEAR and our SMEA are reliable data. And lastly, continuous improvement. The embedded feedback loop enables regular updates and refinements based on performance data, ensuring the model adapts to emerging needs and challenges. So for the method, the study uses, of course, a descriptive qualitative approach and a case study designed to examine the development of the process-based model for GBES. A tailored KPI model aligned with SMEA, SPEAR, AIP, and ESIP operationalizes the model by specifying objectives, indicators, targets, data sources, monitoring frequency, and responsible personnel to ensure accountability and data-driven decision-making. So this time, we already have the KPI table which we could use to ensure that our data are reliable, and it is what we really have in the school. So we have objectives here like the alignment of programs with the mission and vision, improve instructional supervision, where teachers receive feedback through the SPEAR. We provide them, ilan pa ba ang mga non-numerates namin, ang non-readers namin, ano pa ba ang pangangailangan ng school na hindi namin napoprovide. We enhance data utilization in data making through meetings, minutes, mayor reports, increase in stakeholder engagement by monitoring the attendance rate. This is very important. I think this is the challenge of most of the schools. Not everyone in the school would want to participate in meetings, but since we have this feedbacking and monitoring system already, we can ensure na meron na po kaming parang nade-determine na namin. Like here, we have indicated increased stakeholder engagement, more or less 85%, and I think that is sustainable already for GBES. We can monitor progress toward quality objectives through the SMEA that we are accomplishing. We build capacity on data analysis because we will train actually the teachers, because even if they are used to gathering data, sometimes they do not know what to do with the data. Or sometimes they disregard it at para lang makompleto na yung report namin. Pero this time, since we have this model, I think that we could increase involvement from the teachers. And lastly, ensure continuous improvement because there is always a feedbacking system that is included in the model. Yan. And this is one of the most important part of the model. We have the balanced scorecard. Bakit ba? Effective ba ang model na to? Nagagamit ba talaga namin? O panpadagdag na lang ng trabaho kay mga admin personnel natin tsaka sa teaching personnel natin? But the balanced scorecard will justify everything why we are using the process-based model. And this will help us check the improvement after implementing this application of education in organization. Maybe we could use this to make our report effective ba ang process-based model namin. And then we cannot just do it in such a way that we are subjective. It will be more of an objective part because we will be using the balanced scorecard. So what are we going to see in the balanced scorecard? The learning and growth, enhanced staff capacity in data literacy. Nag-improve ba ang mga teachers sa pagbasa at paggamit ng mga available data na nagamit na nag-gather namin? Internal processes, improve governance mechanism and efficiency. Nag-improve ba ang pagmo-monitor namin at pag-implement ng mga projects namin? Isasagawa ba talaga sila? Na-achieve ba ang mga objective namin? The stakeholder, increased stakeholder engagement. Again, we are targeting 85% more or less on the attendance and the involvement of our stakeholders. And of course, financial, optimized resource utilization. Our target here is 100% because at the end of the fiscal year, we want to utilize the MOOE. And lastly, communication and coordination. Enhance internal communication among staff. This time, it is no longer only the head teacher or the school head who will be doing all the work. Everyone, we have a distributed leadership. So the balanced scorecard will help us determine how we are doing using the process-based model. So this will be our work plan and timeline. So we started actually the pre-meeting with our school planning team and the review of the strategic plan last August and September. Last October, we have designed and pilot tested the process-based model. That's why even if it's just a proposal, tinry na po namin siyang gamitin because we have already started the ESIP again and the AIP and crafting of the AIP and WFP. Last November, we have designed and on December, capacity building na po, if you are going to give us already the go to implement or fully implement the process-based model, we will have the capacity building for our internal and external stakeholders. And of course, we will evaluate for continuous improvement using the balanced scorecard. Yeah. Plans for dissemination. The result of this professional initiative will be shared with the participants and fellow school heads of SDO Angeles City if they want to adopt this. This will also serve as the basis for another study or initiative that would promote the professional competence of the school personnel. This is an example of the brochure that we will be producing for those who would want to know more about the process-based model. This is the first part, and I think nasa likod po yun sa acknowledgement. We have also practical tips for replication if they want to adopt this process-based model. And we have included here the framework itself, the uses of each part of the diagram or model that we have produced. The key performance indicator, this is very important in gathering the data since the process-based model is based on the data-driven model that which I have discussed earlier. And of course, finally, the balanced scorecard for GBES organizational management model. So, yun lang po at maraming salamat po.